Hey gang, this is Ted Hansen here. You might also know me as Terrell through from my gaming videos. My buddy Mykiel over at Stractix recently sat down and talked with Mark Ferrandino, the Speaker of the House for Colorado, and had to talk about gaming. Specifically, what I want to talk about from that interview is what good gaming has done for society. I'm going to put a link to the whole interview in the description of the video if you want to check that out. But I want to talk about 4 things specifically that were brought up in the interview. How gaming has caused advancements in programming, how gaming develops critical thinking skills, how gaming provides an inexpensive form of entertainment, particularly important in the economic times we're facing right now, and how gamers change the world at large. First, advancements in programming. The biggest one I can think of right now is Watson, the computer developed by IBM that competed on Jeopardy! Watson now is being used in the medical field to properly diagnose diseases so that, we don't kill somebody by giving them the wrong thing. It's helping to save lives. Well, what Watson is, it's a highly developed form of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence first came from uses in, guess what? Gaming. Alright, so gaming indirectly led to the development of Watson, which is saving lives all over the place because we're not giving them the wrong thing. The analogy I like to give for this is racing is to cars as gaming is to computers. Okay, everything in your car at one point had to do with racing. That's the big money maker for cars initially to help get past the experimental phases to absorb the development costs of the technology that goes into cars and eventually goes mainstream where there's not as much of a profit margin. Gaming is kind of the same way with programming. The development costs of gaming go into developing the programming methods, developing software methods, which then expand out into other arenas. Another thing that gaming does, it teaches critical thinking skills. And I'll just go over 3 games that I played that are real big into this. The one I played growing up that was huge into this was Heroes of Might and Magic, particularly 3. I played 1 and 2 as well, but I really liked 3. 4 I didn't care for. 5 was okay. 6, I haven't had a lot of time to play it. I've got a lot of other stuff to do lately, but I've got it on my hard drive. Just don't have a whole lot of time to play 6. But the biggest thing that Heroes of Might and Magic taught you is opportunity cost. Say, for example, I've got a gold mine being lately defended by some neutral monsters, but I've also got an enemy army advancing on me. They're going to be here in probably 3 days. Okay, so the decision I'd make in that point is it worth risking my troops and risking not getting back to my own city to take the gold mine for 2 extra days of income, which is 2,000 gold, or do I leave it alone and get my hero back to the city to make sure I can defend it with what I have, but give up the extra income? And it's those decisions you have to make all the time. It's whether you played it, by yourself or, even with or against friends. Heroes of Might and Magic is one of those things that's hard to play against friends because, the turns just took so long. It took forever to play a game. So I played that mostly against myself. Against the computer, rather. Alright. Hang on, I've got a text message from Mike right now. Let's see what this is. Okay, so Mike says, just make sure you say, I'm a god among men and disappoint men and women in bed. Alright, Mike, I got that in for you. Don't you worry about it. Oh, well, too late. It's already there. You ought to think before you send that send button on the text message, alright? Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, a game that teaches these things in a much quicker way is League of Legends, probably the premier real-time strategy game throughout the world today. Probably the most popular game in the world, I think, right now. Now, that's not my best game. I think I'm level 21 in League of Legends right now, and man, I'm awful at it compared to most players. There's 100 champions, at least you have to keep track of. You got to keep track of, what their abilities are, what amount of damage they do at each level, what the particular item builds are, what item builds you build against them, what heroes they synergize with, what heroes are good against them in lane, what heroes are good against them in a team fight. There's just a lot going on. You have to make those decisions very, very, very quickly. Something from League of Legends is, if I flash a quarter second earlier, I might have just saved my life, which prevents them from starting the team fight, acing my team, taking the Nexus, and losing the game. Whereas, if I did it on time, we'd still be alive, game'd still be going, we'd still have a chance. It's things like that in League of Legends. It teaches you to make very critical decisions very, very, very quickly. Another game like that I play, if you look at my channel at all, you'll see a bunch of videos for Wrath of Heroes. Little different strategic concerns. There's a third team to worry about, so you really, really got to worry about your positioning that much more. There's not as many heroes. There's about 30 right now. But you still have the same type of who's good against whom. What kind of team comp are they running? What do I need to run to counter that team comp? What about the third team? Because I need to be able to counter one team without playing a comp that's also vulnerable to the third team. So there's more considerations involved in Wrath of Heroes than there are in League of Legends, but man, League is just rough, I'm telling you. Another thing that I like about gaming is it's an inexpensive form of entertainment. Let's just take your typical MMO subscription. It's $15 a month. You play 2 hours a day, it's 25 cents an hour for all the entertainment you could need in a month. Say you go to a movie. Movie's about 3 hours. You go there with a friend, by the time you pay, drinks and some popcorn and, your tickets, you watch a 3-hour movie, you paid $50. Big difference. Also look at, cable TV. I don't watch cable TV anymore. Okay, I mean, everything that I watch comes through internet, basically. I mean, one of the biggest examples that I can give is also with League of Legends. It's more popular than Major League Baseball on ESPN. I mean, heck, last week was, the NFL Divisional Series. I didn't watch that. I watched the League of Legends League Championship Series to see who was going to get into Season 3. That's a big deal, and I think that's why you see a lot of the major media outlets try to bash on gaming so much. It's because it's a legitimate threat to their viewership. I mean, because if I get all the entertainment I need without having to pay for cable TV, why am I going to pay for cable TV? Why am I going to give them viewers? I'm not. And the other thing here is, gamers change the world. And we really do. There's two examples I want to give of that. First one is shout out to Athene for Operation Sharecraft, raising over $1 million for Save the Children in Africa. Okay. But also on a much larger scale, there's also the Extra Life for Gaming. I know Stractix did something for that. I did a little bit for that as well. And it's basically what Extra Life is. It's a gaming marathon. Gamers will play for 24 hours for pledges, and all the proceeds go to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Like in my case, it would be Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, because that's the closest one to where I live. And, a ton of money was raised through Extra Life as well. So, gaming, people, I think, are just scared of it, really, because they don't understand it. It's the same as, rock music and rap and all these other things that came around after network TV that always get a bad rap. And I think it's just that industry trying to protect itself, really. And because they're scared. I mean, honestly, they have reason to be. They're just trying to protect their market share. I think it's rather irresponsible and ignorant the way that they're going about it. What they should be doing, I think, is creating more compelling content to, justify, the cable TV subscription. But if they don't do that, well, then they deserve to lose all the viewers that they lose. But anyway, that's a tangent there. But yeah, gaming is a very powerful force for good in the world. And, I'm disappointed when I see people try to blame gaming for so many evils when, you know, it's really just propaganda they've fallen for, and gaming just causes all forces of good. I mean, could somebody who's mentally ill look at a video game and potentially, you know, go on a murderous rampage? Yeah, it's possible. But, you know, I've been playing games for 20 years, some of them mega violent, and I've never had an urge to go on a murderous killing spree. But anyway, this is Ted Hansen here, signing off. If you like what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.